Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're here to do more of Bleach Spiritual Awakening. Now, I was going to do a showcase on Uryu rank 13, however, I got an amazing idea from the comments from a person named, Slickles1, saying I should do a video on arena placements, and I actually think that's a fantastic idea, because Aizen would be the only one that kind of acknowledges in the community that placements are actually a huge deal. When I mentioned it inside the Discord, people tend to kind of take a step back and be like, but late game, it doesn't really matter that much. It really does. Also, since the last video, when we did the worst team, my worst team was kept on arena, and I dropped from 9th rank to rank 122 over the process of about a day. 20, 30, 39, 50, 62, 69, 80, 82, 80, or 86, 93, 95, 107, 122. We can definitely make the climb back up there in this video, trying to show off the placements and why they actually do matter. God, this team is bad. So I want to just kind of show off is the difference in AI versus some different placements. Just to do some proof that there is different AI based on where you put characters and which characters need to be in the front and how to counter them. So first, what we're going to do is I'm going to experiment with Soifon, Yoruichi. I'm going to put Ukiura in the back. Now you'll notice that the enemy has Ichigo in the front. If all goes well, Soifon will end up propping her first attack immediately and getting past Ichigo twice, and then he'll start doing his stuff. And that's usually how Soifon fights will go, because in front, that's what her AI tells her to. In terms of placements, she is told by her AI, I have to do my first to dash in and get the damage done. The actual defense doesn't matter that much, it's the instigation of the battle. We didn't get to see it much there, because apparently Ukiura pops his first when he's in the back. I've actually never seen that. I've actually never seen Ukiura pop his first from the back. I've seen him do his second by dashing in and seconding. So that is a little bit different from what I expected, but we'll see from here. We'll watch here as well to see what's up. I just realized these battles are going to be very easy. It's okay. We'll see it. So just watch Soifon. The way she dashes in, she gets double stabs, and then Yoruichi also did her first. Okay, I have no idea where the video cut off. But we're gonna go ahead and get this done further. I'm gonna try to get up in the ranks so we have the battles last a little bit longer, so I can actually show off what I'm kind of trying to talk about here. I'm also gonna take out Ukiura just to be able to show. What we'll do is we'll show the difference between front and back. So we'll toss Yami in middle, and then we'll toss Yoruichi in the back. So what should happen is Soifon's AI should do the double dash. Interrupt Ichigo's second, because his AI, when he's in front, tells him to do a second first. And potentially Yoruichi will either dash in and do her second or third, or do her first, which is against the AI that I've noticed in the past. But we will definitely see here what is up. I'm just kind of experimenting as well. It's not quite an end-all be-all video about placements. Yeah, notice when Yoruichi came up, she used her second when she should have used her first, and then she dashed in and used her third. That's because rear end placements are told to move forward no matter what they are, which is an issue when Uryu is told to be a rear end character by the game. Like for example, we'll go ahead and I'll just go to this one. This works. I'll take out this team. So we already noticed the Yoruichi's AI is doing that, and Soifon's AI always does the first because when she's in front. But what we'll do, we're gonna put we'll put Hollow White in first, then we'll put Mayuri in second, and then we'll wait, I need to take out Yami. He's always in the way, man. So you, and then we'll put Soifon in the back and see what she ends up doing from the back, to see if her AI still tells her to do her first, or to see if her AI tells her to do her second, which is doubtful, her third, which is most likely, but she'll take a while, and she'll try to get a good position for it. Let's watch her. Notice, when in the rear end, she used her second after walking in. Her AI also doesn't tell her to dash, which would up her attack, which is very, very, very strange. Her AI should tell her to do her nuke soon, before she ends up dying, because that's kind of a big issue. Is she gonna lose to this? So that'd be very sad. She never popped a nuke. Strange. In my experience, I've always seen her try to walk up and get a placement to use her nuke at, but it seemed like right there she was focusing on seconds a lot from the rear. So the way you have them placed at the beginning of the match also changes their AI throughout the match itself, I find. So it really depends on what you're trying to go for. For example, most people with Soifon want what their primary thing that they want from her is the instigation of the immediate dash in then dash out. However, another one we've been debating heavily is Aizen himself. So what I've noticed from Aizen's AI is when he is in front, he'll pop his second, catch the enemy's attack with the Kyoka Suigetsu, his second being, we'll go ahead and look at it here. So Aizen's second is this. Would load, you know. When he's attacked, it immediately does more damage and does more damage, and will turn to shadows and do whatever, and pretty much cancel out the attack that's being used by the enemy. So in doing that, it's actually very helpful. So we'll pop Aizen in the front, and we'll see if he pops his second first, and see if his AI tells him to do that. Generally, we just want to see the beginning of the fight, so we just need to get this out of the way pretty fast. For a good team, let's do Geen. No, and could not. Why not? Let's do the cool thing. I have them in the wrong order, but it's okay. Doesn't even matter that much. I just want to see Aizen. Is he going to use his second first? Because if so, that confirms my suspicion towards his AI.
2, 1,
He did it. He pops Kyoka Suigetsu immediately and catches the enemies to start a combo for the entire enemy screen. So I think that's why typically people say that Aizen is really good for PvP, because if you have him in front line, he catches the enemies and creates a combo for you to be able to combo off later. That catches the entire enemy team because it's basically a full screen. So that's kind of a thing there. But what if we swap this around? What if I change my placements to Kaname, Geen, then Aizen? What would Aizen's AI tell him to do? Let's figure this out, and then we'll kind of figure out what's up with that. This just kind of gives us a leeway to realize that AI is changed based on the placement. So Aizen's gonna he also popped his second first. But he stayed in one spot. The other Aizen seemed to go into a combo of Kurohitsugi and then use his third, while that one seemed to just use his second and then stop moving completely and let the entire rest of the group take care of it. I need to do that. I need to do another one of that because I need to see if Aizen just always uses it, because that is rather strange here. In my experience, I've actually seen him mostly go for Kurohitsugi first from backline.
3, 2,
Show me the money. Come on. No, he's using Kyoka Suigetsu. And he did the exact same thing that time. Interesting. So, perhaps there's more of the well, obviously it's possible these two examples could have been just them showing me different things than, like, just showing me like different examples from what's happening. Or maybe I'm just wrong in terms of my theory. I need to see just the general instigation of the fights more. I don't really care about the rest of it, so let's just do this and this. Oh wait, I want to have Aizen in the back, and then I want to have Ukiura in the front, so because I want to see how they instigate like that, and see how that goes. Because Ukiura, in my experience, in the back, he'll use his second, and then go into his third. from the back. So we'll see for his AI as well as Aizen's, and we'll kind of come to a consensus here.
2, 1, fight.
First, second. See, I'm thinking now, like, so Aizen used his second. However, you will notice that the fact that we had Aizen in the back and Ukiura in the front caused us to have a lot of issues in terms of damage because he's not the tankiest. Obviously, you want to have the one with the highest defense or most catches or most interruptions in the front for that. That's just a general rule of thumb for PvP. So perhaps the AI isn't as affected as I assumed it was, because Aizen seemed to use his second, and Ukiura, when I had him in the rear before, he used his first, and he also uses first from the front. I'll do more experimentation in the future to try and figure this out, but for now, what we will notice is having Ukiura in the front is a bad plan, because of the fact that, so his defense is 17,107. Aizen's is 1534 or 374. It's lower. Then what made him die easier? Is it just the fact that his attacks aren't as good as juggling? Because typically Ukiura is used for just a end game big damage thing, not a really overtime type of thing. Maybe it's just the fact that there's interruptions in the front that made him best for the front, while Ukiura is mostly a back character because he can sweep the entire field and has invulnerability. Similarly, like, Yamamoto is good because of this and because of this. The full screens with burn typically just works really well, especially if you put him in second, because he can use his first if he has to, but use the second and third whenever he wants to. So I'm going to say that the order does matter, but perhaps doesn't affect the AI as much as I assumed it did. Naturally, there are things that people do to try and instigate battles easier. Typically, you'll see most people put Soifon in the front because of the fact that she has an attack. If I can go ahead and find her. Here. This attack will end up putting a defense down on all the enemies for a very, very, very short amount of time. However, it goes through the entire enemy team when you first start, as well as it sets you up to do your game-winning combo immediately. Typically, she'll interrupt, so I'd say she's a hard counter to Ichigo's. In front, she's a hard counter to, I'd say Kenpachi's in the front as well. She tends to stun him whenever she does the thing. She tends to interrupt, who else do I even see in the front these days? Here's the issue. You tend to see mostly Soifon and Yoruichi in the front. Yoruichi, due to her paralysis on her first, which lets her do that, and also takes them down, which like knocks them onto the ground, which just seems to be very good in terms of trying to start up a combo as well. I find that they're not going to cancel each other out. Soifon will always win in exchange. Well, not always. There's always exceptions depending on your other teammates and how much endurance you have trying to keep up and stay up inside the battle. More endurance means that you'll be more durable and be able to do more attacks before they knock you down. If their endurance is quite low, typically Soifon will be very, very good. But I find if they have higher endurance, Yoruichi is actually a better choice due to her thunder. It has no weakening, but it has 3 hits, which does more endurance damage and allows you to perhaps start the combo getting them off the ground. Obviously, there are characters that can't get people off the ground that struggle with that a lot. Examples of that would be Byakuya without his rank 13, which his rank 13 doesn't even change in the Spiritual Awakening, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. Kenpachi struggles a lot. Obviously, he can hit everyone on the ground, but he can't get them up to be able to help them get juggled. So that's what you're trying to instigate after trying to go from Yoruichi. Your front is always trying to instigate a combo based on what's happening. Like Zangetsu's a fantastic choice for front if you don't have anyone else and you're trying to look for a very high power you weren't able to invest in Yoruichi or Soifon along the way. Usually you'll be able to, but you know. Like, he has this, which will knock them down. The main one I was talking about would be this one, though. This interrupts them and knocks them onto the floor, which allows them to get comboed very easily by any of his other attacks, as well as get picked up by anyone else. Good pickup characters, Yamamoto, Aizen, Ukiura, Ichigo. He has issues with picking up. He uses his second, and his second is perfect for it. His first will hit 1 out of the 2 hits that ends up hitting the enemy if they're on the ground. And his third will end up missing half the time that he uses it if they're on the ground, and then the rest of the time it'll hit them and kind of pick them back up, but it won't do much damage. But typically for a middle character, you want to try and decide on something, like, obviously, Aizen. So the main choices I put for the front row would be Aizen, Yoruichi, or Soifon. Aizen being the hard counter to both of those. So if you're facing someone with those, you can go ahead and pop Aizen. If you're facing someone without those, you can use Yoruichi or Soifon, probably Yoruichi, just to be able to get the endurance down and start the combos. Middle choices, I typically put probably the highest damage dealer, so when you don't want to take too much damage, but you also don't want to take out of the battle. Obviously, people will get into the fray pretty fast in general, but typically AI won't tell the people to dash. Like Yoruichi and Soifon earlier, we noticed that they didn't dash at all, even though their soul trait, or not even soul trait, support is dashing to gain attack. So that's not quite what they try and do. So typically for a middle, I would put Zangetsu, Yamamoto. Here's the thing, I would also put Hollow White. Now this one's a bit of a weird choice, due to the fact that he doesn't really have a big damaging attack or anything. The main reason why I choose him is due to this. That is an instigation where he goes through the entire, the one attack will go through the entire team, and he'll also dash through them several times, interrupt them while you're picking up another combo, which is fantastic, especially for a middle. If you don't have like a Yoruichi or Soifon to be able to carry you through it, he'll try and pick up the enemies as well. This is the main issue. This attack is basically useless for PvP. Because it barely juggles unless they're like already in the air and way above you. And it doesn't really hit them if you use another attack chained with it. So it's kind of That's what kind of makes me not want to use him inside PvP. And this one's fantastic because he does basically, he'll scroll across the entire screen and pick up characters as he goes, and then anyone who he picks up will end up getting slashed a bunch of times during, which is fantastic because he also gets the 10% damage buff, which is an instant like huge bit of damage when you get that done. Plus he has invulnerability after he hits the end of the first or second flurry there, so that's good. Definitely an interesting thing. Typically for a back row, you want someone who can instigate very quickly, or has lower defense, and you want to try to kind of have them engage slower. Now it's a bit of a weird thing to say, but characters I want to engage slower would be Shunsui. He just tends to be like a person in the back. Obviously, he's Kageoni, lets him get in quite quickly and kind of take up the entire screen. So you want to bait him into using this, be able to get the fight done properly. Ukiura I put in the back because of his AI. Well, from what I've seen, his AI popping a second then third after dashing, because his second immediately pops all these spears into the ground and then gains 10% attack. And if you do that, and it immediately goes into this one where he does the entire screen, goes up, and then he does the entire screen again, which with 10% attack buff, that's fantastic. So he's definitely good for a rear. It seems like our good old pal Toastin's also good for a rear character. Typically you want to just bait him into using this, because this gets rid of all the SP of the enemies. This interrupts them. This isn't invincible, and also knocks them on the ground. It's just a really, really good attack, so if you can end up getting him to use it, you're good. He'll end up basically saving you the game. The difficulty becomes like his other two attacks aren't the best. So you're gonna want to try and get him to use this, but I don't know the exact trigger to be able to get him to use that yet. We'll figure that out in the future. We'll do some experimentation with him when I get like further on and get him to rank 13. But for now, we're good. There's an issue here where Uryu, if you click on him, it'll tell you, where was it again? Yeah, so in the feature it says perfect rear line choice inside arena. No. he will dash in and not be able to hit most of the enemies. Typically, after the first exchange, Soifon will be behind you, Yoruichi will have knocked you down, or someone else would have hit you with something. Maybe Urahara will hit you with the portal thing. At that point, you're not able to, like, there will be someone behind you. But this man, he's like, I need to dash in, and I need to pop this. Does very little damage, only hits in front of him, and he gets hit during it, and it destroys him. This one's alright, and it lets him back up a little bit. It also doesn't hit much of the screen, though, which makes him not great. And this is the main thing you want inside PvP. However, the main purpose of it is to give you your Riryoku back, and guess what? You don't need Riryoku inside of PvP because you're literally, I'm pretty sure it's damn near infinite. So, he's, as much as it says good rear line choice, I'm saying no. I'm saying hard no, do not use Uryu in Arena. I was talking about it in a video a long time ago, but upon experimentation and stuff, it's a big no-no. Obviously there's other characters that are good in general, but none of these really are good for rear line choices. Most rear line choices I already have leveled up because I've been using them. Ukiura, who else did I say was a good rear line choice? Tosen, Shinsui. Hollow Ichigo would actually be a good one as well, but the issue is if he uses his second, you're fucked. You've basically lost if he uses his second. So I'll have to experiment with that. Actually, let's do experiment right now. I need to stop saying that word. Checking with Hollow Ichigo in the last slot. So we'll do Aizen, we'll do Yamamoto, and then we'll do Hollow Ichigo in the back and see if he tries to walk in and pop his second, or if he'll pop his first and then third. Because first and third would be the best case scenario. It would actually make him a lot more viable. So let's go ahead and see this and see if we're good to go. I'm looking forward to this too, because this is a pretty good fight. Alright, show me the money. He walked in a little bit, which allows him to get caught a little bit, which is bad. However, he popped his Getsuga, which is a good sign. I just got soloed by the enemy Aizen. Interesting. Well, hey, we noticed that his AI tells him to do his first. However, after his first, he did nothing. He did his first, then was on the other side of the screen because he missed everyone, and then did nothing until using his first again, and then he died. So, perhaps not the best rear line choice. It seems like he's good at instigating the first attack, but not the later ones. And, of course, you guys want me to say this. Hiyori is best in front line. Don't forget to level her up and use her whenever you can, guys. Yeah, that's it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any further points to make. Obviously, when more things are released and we have more details towards this, I'll be trying this out every single day from now on in Arena, trying to check out what certain characters are told to do based on their placements and what they end up catching. I'll make updated videos and try to kind of go through things. So, see you later. And Uryu rank 13 coming probably tomorrow, if I can get the division battle open. We'll see. Bye.